the Pop Culture Master Race.
Does mother know you wear it for grace?
All your pop culture needs. And here are your hosts, Aidan and Brett Page.
Welcome back to the PCMR podcast. That is Pop Culture Master Race, where we talk about movies, TV shows, video games, comic books, space, cats, 2-minute noodles, Maltesers.
Just life. Well,
Life
life
in general,
advice.
things. Today is not so much a news episode as it is a review. Today we'll be talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, the sequel to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2014 one.
Did you see the first one?
No.
Yeah, no, neither did I.
I watched like 15 minutes of it, and then I stopped watching it, and I was like, okay.
We've good reason, I suspect. We've good reason.
And I honestly feel like I didn't need to get this one. Like, I got it.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think I missed out on anything.
There was some references and there was some characters from the last movie.
Look, I've seen
But
like
you kinda
reviews
got
and
the
like,
gist.
you know, that was those Cinema Sins when they do like everything wrong with in 17 minutes or less or something. I watched that, so I figure like, okay,
Yeah,
I
well,
get
like,
it.
Everyone's just like, oh, Megan Fox, she's the same character that she's in every Michael Bay movie. Okay, and
Yeah.
this guy, he's a jerk who's taking credit for the Turtles' work, which is basically we get told that in the first 5 seconds.
Anyway, we haven't introduced who we are. I am Aidan.
I'm nobody. I'm an asshole.
This is Brett.
Yeah, well, that's my birth name.
That was my slave name. I have freed myself under the title of asshole.
After Daenerys Targaryen broke my chains.
Grey Worm. That's an interesting name. Perhaps you'd like a Steve or a Trevor. No, name is Grey Worm because
Grey Worm is the name I wore when Daenerys Targaryen freed me from my chains. I don't know why I remember that whole quote.
you're too far away from the mic there. You've leaned back to reminisce about Game of Thrones.
Is that better? No.
Find a distance in between.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm turning off a little bit. Alrighty. Enough about all that technical talk in Game of Thrones. We're talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So let's kind of try and summarize.
Give a quick synopsis, Aidan.
Quick synopsis. So the Turtles are living in New York, still in the shadows. We've got Leo, the leader, Donatello, he does machines, Raph, he's cool but rude, and Michelangelo, of course, is a party dude. And so we find the Turtles, they've defeated the Shredder, things are going okay. They still can't take credit for all the heroics they did in the first movie, but, you know, things could be worse. And then things could be worse happens.
They get to eat pizza and scaffolding at basketball matches.
Yeah, they're watching basketball matches from the whatever that like square television screen thing is.
The lighting rig. I think that's what we call it.
the
The lighting rig.
A lighting rig. Where the score is. I don't know.
Where they
You can tell how many sports I watch.
all the sports.
It's the thing, the television,
All
in the middle of, on top of the court. Anyway, they're there, and then we find out that there's Shredder, he escapes from prison, and then the movie goes on from there. We're introduced to all these different characters from the 80s cartoon. Now, Brett, I watched this movie a couple of days ago, so you're fresh out of the cinema. Why don't we give me your fresh thoughts, feelings, emotions right now?
So dumb. so dumb. You're laughing because I know you agree. It was so dumb.
Look, I came into this movie, I saw the trailer, and I knew what I was getting into. And you know what? It was exactly what I expected. So the first movie, I think a common problem that people had with it, I didn't see it, but I could get it from like the trailer and stuff, is that it was taking itself too seriously. It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's inherently dumb. The name's it's in the name. It's a dumb property. This started off as a parody back in the 80s when Peter Lloyd and Kirk Laufman, I believe his name was. The names of the creators of the series. Yeah, it started off. It was a parody of Daredevil. Fun fact.
There you go. We're full of facts that are fun.
See, it was a parody of all that stuff, that kind of dark, gritty Frank Miller kind of era of 80s comics, and it was big and it was dumb, but it had kind of a gritty tone to it. So it was like people really enjoyed it. And then the 80s cartoon came along, and it was made to sell toys. It was loud, it was dumb, it broke the fourth wall. It was the dumbest thing on television, and kids couldn't get enough of it. I couldn't get enough of it. I remember
we were watching would have been watching the reboot in the late 90s, wouldn't we have? Because it stopped for a while.
The reboot it stopped for a while, and then the reboot came in 2003, I think.
Yeah, so that would have been the one we were watching, right?
That's the one I remember more, but I do remember watching the 80s version first off when I was younger, and then later on in my pre-teens, I was watching the 2003 one, because I distinctly remember the 80s one and the Teenage Mutant Ninja theme. I remember that.
Here's a half shell.
Turtle Power. I definitely remember that. But yeah, I think if I was to if you would put me I don't know, at gunpoint, I don't know why you'd be putting me at gunpoint to ask me questions about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but hypothetical, strange multiverse world where that happens, I would say I like the 2003 version a lot. I do remember. I wouldn't want to go back and watch it again, because I don't want it to be oh, this is super dumb, and I don't know why anyone would recommend it. But in my mind, I'm thinking back on it really fondly. It's wow, this was a show that actually it kind of put a new kind of spin on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles brand. And I think of all these, because there's a recent one that came out in 2013, and it's all 3D animated. I think if I was to put it up between the 80s one and that one and the 2003 one, I'd choose the 2003 one. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this new movie, which is kind of combined a little bit of that kind of serious grit from the 2003 one, and combined it completely with the silliness of the 80s one, and that's the kind of film that you have here. So this film, this bloody film,
this film, fucking this film.
It has Krang. It has Dimension X. It has the Technodrome.
Okay. It has Krang and Dimension X and everything else that was cool for a total of 5 minutes.
I was Bebop and Rocksteady. I'm also going to talk about that as well. I was going to add that in there. But yeah, what was your point you're about to make?
The Cosmodrome and the freaking Krang and Dimension X, they're in the movie for a total of 5 minutes. Those are such cool things that I wanted to see more of. Because, you get the final battle and one scene earlier on where Shredder goes there. That's fucking it.
So we're doing, just spoilers, or do you want to, put a spoiler tag on things?
Probably should have. I totally forgot that.
Yeah, man, you gotta put spoiler tags in these things. Spoilers.
I'll just edit in a little thing there, going. I lost my cool and let out a big spoiler. Skip ahead to this time.
Yeah. So look, I don't want to go into spoilers quite yet, because there are specific things that maybe I want to talk about. But this is a silly movie. It's very much. Do you ever see the second, remember in the 90s there was that live action Turtles movie?
What?
Where it was and then there was a live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and they were in rubber suits and stuff. And there was a second one, the first one was kind of serious.
I am Googling this right now. I do not remember.
You've never seen this?
No.
What do you mean? Oh, I forgot you grew up in a household where people were all scared. You missed out on Jurassic Park and stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, I keep forgetting that Brett grew up in a household that fun was banned, basically. So
hey,
he
my
didn't
mum
get to grow
bought
up
me
with...
a Nintendo and a PlayStation.
Yeah, but did you have fun?
Yes.
You didn't see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Jurassic Park, so obviously you didn't have fun.
I didn't know there was a Ninja Turtles movie.
How? How, I ask you? It's great. It actually is pretty good. It's very much off its time, but it has all the things in there besides Krang and Bebop and Rocksteady. It has a really cool Casey Jones. The animatronics are actually pretty decent for the time, and it has a lot of cool martial arts and stuff in it. So for the time, it gets the property right. It's big, dumb, and silly. So that's still probably the best one. But the sequel...
Oh, I remember that now.
Yeah, there, boy.
See, now that I've Googled it, like I never fucking watched it, but I remember that it exists now
Okay.
when I see the pictures from it.
So in the sequel to that, Secrets of the Ooze, because in the first film, like parent groups and stuff complained, they're like, "Oh, there's too much violence in this. They're using their weapons, and it's not good for kids." So in the sequel, it was kind of toned down, and it was a much sillier film. And I feel like this is a kind of spiritual successor to that film, in that sense that like so. It's very silly, and it's very much like all like the mistakes of the first film. They correct that. So the way I understood it, in the first film, the turtles, they don't really come into it until like halfway through, and you spend a lot more time with like April O'Neil and Will Arnett's character. Well, in this film, they're barely in it. Like, you want to ask like, how is Megan Fox in this film? She was barely in it enough for me to like form an opinion. She's there a little bit, and she says her lines. She's completely serviceable. She's exactly what you expect.
Fun fact, though. I don't know if you remember this while watching the film.
Yeah.
The character April O'Neil, there is actually a porn star called April O'Neil who did a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles porn parody.
Yes, Brett. Why wouldn't I know about that? I'm on the internet.
Of course you do. Well, that was to the fans then. Of course you knew that. You know everything porn related.
It's not that I know everything porn related. She was on Kasim G. She's been to like a bunch of Comic Cons and stuff. She was on Philip DeFranco the other week.
Yeah. Well, you know her, okay?
I know of her. She wrote the Doctor Who porn parody. She's a big old nerd.
Who does porn? Yay.
It's 2016, man.
I just found it kind of hilarious that, the porn actor who did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles porn parody, a name is in the movie. I just found it ironic, okay? Trying to point out something I found funny.
I don't know what irony you're pointing out. That's not her actual name. That's her stage name that she stole from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Wait, what?
That's her stage name.
No, I knew that part.
Yeah. She stole it from April O'Neil What do you know about the Turtles? Who am I talking
not
to?
as much as I thought I knew.
Nothing, because that's the character's name. She took her stage name from April O'Neil, the reporter in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I did not remember that from the cartoons.
Oh my god, how am I supposed to do a review of this goddamn movie when you don't know anything?
I'm sorry that I don't remember cartoons I watched more than a fucking decade ago.
That's all 90s kids are supposed to do, Brett. That's all we're supposed to do is remember things from the 90s. We're not supposed to
Aidan,
bring in new information. We're just about to go like, hey guys, do you remember Rocko's Modern Life? Oh, crazy. That's all we're allowed to do, Brett.
See, everyone talks about these cartoons and like, I vaguely remember watching episodes of it. I couldn't tell you any story arcs or character names, but I remember it.
Brett. I couldn't tell you anything about Rocko's Modern Life either, so that's fair.
I remember watching it. I can tell you that. I don't remember anything else about it.
I remember Courage the Cowardly Dog. I don't remember anything about it. I remember that thing exists, and that the dog was scared, but I can't tell you the names of like any of the monsters or why he was scared or where he lived or why he lived there. I couldn't tell you anything about it. I just remember.
Well,
I did watch that show.
With me, with the Ninja Turtles, I remember their names. I remember Casey Jones, and that's about it. I didn't even
How could you not
remember.
remember April O'Neil?
I don't know. Even I'm trying to think back now, and I'm just not
You've
remembering.
tried to bring me this fun fact, and it's just like, what? No, Brett. Yeah, what? That's the fun fact you brought me. Confusion.
Apparently, everyone knew this except me. Well,
Yes, everyone knew this except you. People in North Korea know this except you. They're going like, this Brett is an idiot. People in Kenya are going, this Brett is an idiot. They do not know what he's talking about.
Because I don't remember a character from a cartoon.
How can you
watched
not
over a
remember
decade.
April O'Neil? She is a reporter. She wears a yellow jumpsuit.
I didn't-
Everybody knows this.
Well, I didn't remember. There's a lot of things I don't remember.
Okay. What film are we even talking about? What? All right, Out of the Shadows.
I confused you that much, did I?
You did. You confused me that much. What point was I trying to make? You've just derailed me completely. I'm out of the shadows and into confusion. I knew what I was talking about while I was in the shadows. Now I'm out of it. I'm just like, what? What?
Okay. The movie, okay?
The movie. All right. So in this movie, it's all like the things that you remember from the 80s cartoon. It's the things that you wanted to see in the first film. So it's Casey Jones. It's Bebop and Rocksteady. It's Krang. It's the Technodrome. Baxter Stockman. You know, all of these classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles villains are in this film, and it has a very kind of silly tone. They've recast Shredder. He's not just some... They've gotten rid of this Will Fichtner thing where they were doing something crazy in the first film, like who was the Shredder? He's like a giant robot thing. Here, he's toned down a lot more. And they've also got Karai. She's there, but she's not really kind of there. That's something I think I had a problem with as well. Like, for the most part, this film was really good at like letting kids know like who everyone is. Like, they explain who the Turtles are twice. They have a bit at the start where like they have like the Turtles' names and what the like most common attribute is, and then they even have another section later when they meet Casey Jones and they're explaining, oh, this is who this person is and this is who this person is. But for Karai, is like her name is never said, and it's just kind of like, who is that lady ninja? No one? No one's gonna say? Okay, moving on.
Well, those of us who needed to know knew.
Yeah. So yeah, this movie, it leans into the silliness of the 80s movie. It tries to correct the mistakes of the first film. And for the most part, I think it did. I think it's a very silly and dumb film. I'll give you that.
See, the thing is, going into this film, it was always going to be for me, is the dumbness too much for me?
Yeah. That's really the question that you had going in. So I was prepared to like it. And I think if you're prepared to like it, if you're going in saying like, I want a big, dumb, silly movie, I think the world is full of darkness and hate, and I just want to have a good time, then you'll have a good time with this.
Well, that's your opinion. See, it was... there's so many times I found myself saying, this is so dumb. So dumb. Like, there was some good parts. And there was some worse parts. I feel like everything in it was dumb, and yeah, it was dumb fun at times, and like even when there were jokes in the film, which there was quite a few jokes, I really only laughed once in the whole film.
I'm not gonna say that all the jokes hit. So this is like a film for children. Like, I think it's even rated like PG or something.
Yeah, it's rated PG.
But there are layers to like some of the jokes are like very much for children, and other jokes like there are a few ones in there that are like, oh yeah, that's kind of aiming a bit above children. It's a bit like more highbrow, but it never like, you know, it's never going to like, have like a commentary on like the human condition, even though it tries at one point. But it's, you know, it's a big dumb film, and I had such a great time watching it. Yeah, I think we could tell when we saw the trailer, and I saw it and I was like, oh, Stephen Amell's in it. Oh, it's got a fun 90s song. I love it. And you were just like, this is so dumb. And you came in saying like, well, this is so dumb, right? We're going to hate on this. And I'm just like, what are you talking about?
No,
this was great.
I pretty much knew you liked it. We'd already made up our minds about this movie since the trailer, and I don't think either of our minds have changed.
No, it hasn't changed at all. I'm not saying this is the best movie I've seen this year. It's not. It's... even when it comes to like the end of the year and I'm making like my top 10 list, I'm not going to remember this film. But I had such a good time watching it.
I guess there are worse ways to spend 2 hours.
There exactly is. There is worse ways to spend 2 hours. Look, how could you not just have like pure, unadulterated joy at the end when they play the 80s theme song?
Yes, that was great. Okay, that was great.
All right, we can both agree that was an amazing part.
That was the best part.
Okay, so I think there are a few things I didn't like everything. I have said this film is dumb. I do have some things that I thought weren't so great. Before we get into spoilers, I will say, so if you're not prepared, if you have like no nostalgia for the 80s cartoon, and if you don't know who the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are, if you're an adult, is what I'm saying, it's not for you. But you know that.
Wait, is that you saying that I'm an adult? Is that why I didn't enjoy this film?
No, I'm saying you have no joy and you have no soul. That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
My life is filled
I'm not
with
talking about you.
sadness.
I'm talking about, other people. You're filled with sadness and darkness, and you have no ability to have fun.
Yes, I cannot love anymore.
But no, this film it does have some problems. I feel like, yeah, as you say, like Krang is a very kind of underwritten villain, and I feel like you could have done more with him. I feel like in this film there are a lot of, but what?
In the TV show, Krang's never really.
Okay, I'm getting. Look, if you're gonna have an opinion, all right. I'll bring you in just a second. All right, Alicia, she did see the film as well. So she has opinions, and
Of course.
she is welcome to bring them onto the podcast because she. No, you have an opinion. All right. Okay. Where was I? I was talking about Krang. So Krang, he comes in kind of. He's not in the movie as much as you would like. Also, I think the villains that do get best served are Bebop and Rocksteady. I feel like they were exactly as they are, even better than they are in a cartoon in this. And I really enjoyed their performances.
That's one thing I did like about the movie, that at least those characters were well written and they were true to the source material.
Yeah, they came straight out of a cartoon. These two characters were very much like the actors knew what they were getting into. They saw the script and they saw these characters like, oh, this is a cartoon. That's how I'm going to play it. And like most of the actors got that. So them and Baxter, the guy was playing Baxter Stockman, whose name has just escaped me. He's the guy who does the Medea films.
I found myself going back and forth with him.
I think he
one
did
second
fine.
I feel like this character is way too exaggerated, but then the next second I'm like, wait, that's the point.
Yeah, he's an exaggerated character. And I feel like the guy who was playing Shredder, he was doing fine. Like, he had to be menacing and, Asian, and he did that to a T. He was real good. And he's also, I think he's mentioned in interviews that he'd like to play Namor in a Marvel film, and I'd be fine with that. He seems okay.
He
Sure.
seems competent.
Yeah.
What did we think of Stephen Amell?
How to solve a problem like Stephen Amell. So look, I think Stephen Amell, he wanted to do the best that he could, but I feel like he had a lot of bad direction in this film.
That is exactly what I was going to say. I feel like Stephen Amell is the type of actor who needs to be working with a director who is good with actors, who is good at pushing an actor to the point of getting the best performance out of them. But I feel like that combination of Michael Bay and Stephen Amell, it didn't click for him.
Now, to be fair, Michael Bay is only producing it, so he wouldn't really have been on set.
Oh, wait,
it was
I
a
thought he
different
directed
director.
it.
No. He just produced it because it's Platinum Dunes, his like production company. So, but he's very much trying to not be Arrow. He's trying not to be brooding and dark.
However, it is just Oliver Queen in a good mood.
Yeah, he's playing Oliver Queen in a good mood because he can't do any of like the darkness. Like Casey Jones is a pretty dark character. His father, I think, is killed by the Purple Dragon gang, and like in this they've changed it so like he's a cop who wants to be a detective.
Did not like.
Yeah, I would have preferred the crazy like Goongler kind of character. But yeah, he was very chipper. He was very kind of like, gee golly, I'm gonna solve this crime. But he was smiling in every scene. And I feel like Stephen Amell is better when he's brooding. He's real good at that. And I feel like they should have leaned into that. They should have just let him be like no, he's not quite the male Christian Stewart, because that would be Taylor Kitsch. Taylor Kitsch is the male Christian Stewart. Stephen Amell is the what would he be? He's like
He's just Stephen Amell, okay?
he's just Stephen
Why
Amell.
can't
He
he
doesn't
just
have
be
a female
Stephen Amell?
equivalent. He's the Willa Holland of them.
Really?
He's like Fia Queen. They're him and her. They're the same thing, which is why they play such good siblings on Arrow.
Yeah, but that's a mental leap
That's
we
the
just
CW,
made. Yeah, I don't know.
If they just let him like be angry a little bit, or like have a bit more dark and brooding, because he wasn't quite playing Casey Jones. It was very much just kind of like, gee golly wish, guys, I'm so happy all the time, even when I'm angry. Like there's a scene where he's supposed to be intimidating someone for information in a bar. You remember this scene?
Yes.
Yeah. And he's just like, where are they? But he's saying it like, he's just smiling while he's saying it. He's like trying to intimidate this guy, like, give me the information. Smash. I'll get it out of you. And he's just like so chipper and happy. It's just like, be a little bit angry.
I
Yeah.
did really love
I
that
really
scene
feel-
because it separated him from just being a what was he, a prison carrier. That was the moment that you kind of took him serious as a character, and you started to see, wait, this guy is actually Casey Jones. Like, he started to live up to what he was supposed to be. You could see his really good aim, and it was a way of introducing him as a little bit more of a threat rather than just a guy.
My problem wasn't so much with the actions. It was like he was too happy. He was smiling. I'm always happy. I'm a happy person. I'm allowed to be happy. I'm a chipper guy, but he's supposed to be dark and brooding, and I feel like they didn't quite let him do that. So
I thought he was just having a good time with it, but anyway.
I'm not saying he wasn't having a good time, because he seemed like he was having a good time, and I'm all for Stephen Amell having a good time. Guy deserves it. He does a lot of charity work. I just wish we could have gotten a better performance.
But if you think about it, instead of Stephen Amell being too chipper, think about it as Casey Jones just toying with the guy. Casey Jones isn't going to get angry and get stupid. He's going to be coy and like, oh, you're going to tell me where everything is because I'm Casey Jones. And if not, I'll take pleasure in smashing your head open with a glass.
Also, we didn't get one Goongler. Could have got a Goongler. I feel like if we're going to lean into the 80s silliness, where's a Goongler? We got a Cowabunga. Where's the bloody Goongler?
The Cowabunga wasn't even from Mikey, though.
Yeah, that's true. But
It
hey,
should have been from him.
What we can get.
Should have
Yeah,
been.
we can take what we can get. Yeah.
I was so disappointed the only Cowabunga. I don't even remember who said it. I just remember
It was
wasn't
April
Mikey.
O'Neil. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, no, that is Mikey's line.
Hey, we got other things. So yeah, I think what else? Oh, Leo, you had some problems with the way Leonardo was portrayed. Alicia. All
I
right.
just think that he was unnecessarily complex. He's a good leader. He's a leader because he's able to balance the group out. And in this, he was angry and he was bitter and he just didn't really capture the spirit of Leonardo. I was quite disappointed when he's like, well, lucky you don't make the decisions or whatever he said. And I was like, well, fuck you then. Am I allowed to swear on this?
Aidan said cunt once and wouldn't let me censor it, so yes.
I sometimes feel bad about that, but yeah.
Well, if that's the case, Leonardo was a cunt in this movie.
Yeah, I actually kind of agree with that. That I feel like not only did he not have enough lines, I feel like out of all the turtles, he had the least lines. But he kind of didn't do much with what he had. He was kind of just, when they're all arguing, when they're all being idiots, like in the cartoons, he always steps in and he's always mature and he solves a problem. In this, he was
an
just
angry teenager. Like,
yeah, exactly. He was
you
just
don't
angry.
pick an angry teenager to be the leader of a group of angry teenagers. You pick the most mature, and he just didn't. I don't know.
He didn't have that maturity and that knowledge and that leadership that Leonardo is meant to have. I
feel like
agree
they
with what you're
tried
saying.
to give him an arc where it was like him learning how to lead the turtles, which I think it's not really necessary because you give the turtles a group arc. They don't really need individual arcs because, if no one else really had an individual arc, Mikey was Mikey throughout the whole film. We had a few moments of like doubt and like he wanted.
Mikey, he'd treat me right. He was so cute. Like, it was adorable.
Alicia, are you saying you would date a mutant turtle?
Of course. You've seen Aidan, right?
Oh. I do look a bit like
Fucking
Donatello. That's
savage.
Okay. I do like purple and I do wear glasses, so I just need to wear a backpack.
So you
Is
feel
that
like
why you screamed turtle power the other night?
Wait, what? Okay,
Don't worry about it.
Don't tell me. Actually, don't tell me. I've learned not to ask.
Yeah, don't ask.
Did you talk about how in the cartoons Krang and Shredder are usually They have their scenes together, and the Shredder goes off and causes mayhem. But in the movie, you were disappointed that we didn't see too much of Krang. But that's how it is in the cartoons. Like, I was satisfied because it normally is Krang go and do this. Oh, Shredder go and do this, and Shredder goes and does it, and then comes back and like, well, I fucked up, and Krang's like, well, next time we'll get you these turtles, and you know. But that's exactly how it happened in the movies. And
I guess,
you were
yeah.
pissed off. I didn't get it.
I liked when Krang was introduced, and I thought like, oh, it's Krang. It's
They
this.
did a good Krang.
It's this weird brain thing. Like I would have preferred the voice to be a little bit more like the cartoon. No one else's voice is really like the cartoon. Like Shredder's voice wasn't like the cartoons, because in cartoon Shredder's like, "Rrr," and this is just like, ugh.
It made me angry that he wasn't in fluid.
Yeah.
He was just shoved into a metal box, and I was like, that can't be good for brain function.
Well, he kind of leapt out of
Yes,
the box
because
a
that
lot.
is the point we argue. Out of rational.
Yeah.
He's always in his robot with the tank, or he's in that singular dome tank thing.
Mm.
And I don't think we really... Do we see him much out of the tank?
But he has like tube things out of the robot, and then like.
Yeah, but you have to keep him moisturized. And...
Well, that's another question for another.
Why are we arguing his anatomy?
Yeah, let's not get into it.
We're not arguing his anatomy. We're arguing the maintenance of his
Yeah.
anatomy.
Dimension X maintenance. That's what we're arguing.
You asked if I wanted to
podcast.
All right, so that's a question for the Plumbing the Death Star guys. That's not really our thing. That's something they talk about. Tyler Perry. That's yeah. He's most well known for doing the Medea films, which I think he's coming out with this one this year, where it's like Medea does Halloween and he's like fighting zombies. That's it.
Of course. Of course.
You ever seen a Medea film?
No.
That's fair. You are white.
Ooh.
No, I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm saying that's like, no, that's fair. You haven't been. That's not something you've had to do. That's a rite of passage. No, that's not part of you. It's not. You don't have to, so you shouldn't. They're not good, but they are something. They are something.
I feel like I want to watch one now.
Look, just watch a trailer or watch a group of black people reviewing it, and that'll give you a good enough idea of it.
Maybe you should start that as a side venture.
Aidan reviews Medea films. There are enough of them that I could get a good podcast series out of that, honestly.
Well, you
Aidan
know your
watches
niche.
Medea. Yeah, I would. I'd have a niche. So let's get into final thoughts before we go into spoilers for this film. I thought the film was big, loud, and dumb, and kind of a spiritual successor to Secrets of the Used, but it got all these things from the 80s cartoon in there, and it was fun.
References the original comic book.
Yeah. Oh, did it? When?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did.
Okay, well, yeah, apparently even referenced the original comic book. So
Which you haven't read, so that's fine.
I saw like a panel. That's
I'm gonna...
so I'd give it a solid like I'm trying to think like what's like a midday kind of matinee screening kind of score.
a good solid 7 out of 10
Yeah, 7.
if I was 15.
Okay, you want me to say my piece? I'm going to say my piece. Okay.
Also, shout out to the 15-year-old. There were two of them, two 15-year-old assholes that talked and wanked each other off for a good 75% of the movie. Yeah. You were real fun to sit behind.
Okay, Brett, give us your opinion.
Okay, it was... I agree with your first words. It was big and it was dumb. But I feel the dumbness kind of outshone everything else to a point for me. Like, they tried to put in these jokes, and all the jokes were just so dumb that none of them landed to me. Maybe it was just my sense of humor didn't match the sense of humor they were going for. But if you're going to make a movie that's dumb, at least make the jokes dumb enough that they're funny. I feel like
Did you not
the
like
action
that
sequences
the
Spoilers. No. Yeah.
What?
We'll go into further like detail of specific things we liked and didn't like after the spoiler tag.
Am I ruining
You're ruining the flow of the podcast, Alicia.
Yes,
Civil
goddamn it,
War.
woman.
Ooh. All right, now finish your thoughts.
So the action sequences, they were good enough. Like, they weren't anything special, but there's nothing too big to complain about in the action sequences, I guess. So some of the characters are really well written. I'll give them that. But then other characters are also pretty poorly written, and there's the problems in the script. There's the problems with the directing. So I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna give this like I'm thinking of 5.
That's
Fine,
fair.
that's-
That's your opinion, man. Go for
Yeah.
it. Lean into it,
No,
man.
I mean, it's wrong, but it's an opinion.
no, I almost wanted to give it a 4, but then I'm like, no, I gave Batman v Superman a 4. So it wasn't that bad. So
Oh, shade on Batman v Superman. Okay, so let's.
we've already thrown a lot of shade on
Yeah,
that.
we've thrown too much shade on. Okay, so this later we'll get into that. Hold on. Okay, so now we're
your
going to
girlfriend
get
has
in.
a lot of opinions today.
She has some opinions. All right. Now we're getting into spoiler tags. We're going to be talking about spoilers, Easter eggs and references within the film, what we liked.
Easter eggs and references, which I'm apparently going to be terrible at because I know nothing.
Oh, you're going to be so bad at. So yeah, this will be what we think about all like specific things. So Brett, what were some specific things you didn't like? Spoilers from this point on.
Oh, specific things I didn't like. Let's go with the typical thing for everything Michael Bay is involved with. Over-sexualization of an unneeded female character, usually Megan Fox.
Yeah, look, that was the low point in the film for me, but they got it out of the way quick. It was in the start, and then, she's basically not really in for the rest of the movie. So she's there, she does a weird, like, sexy scene. I was like, that was a point where I was like, okay. That was the one point in the film where, like, my enthusiasm dropped. Like, for most of it, I'm just kind of like, woo, fun. But that was the point where I was like,
As soon as she looked at the miniskirts, I'm like, I'm going to hate this. I'm going to... Yes, she's doing... Yeah, okay, yep. She's doing exactly what... Yep.
However, I don't think that they necessarily needed to make it as sexual as they did, but they did use that scene to show the audience how clever and quick thinking April naturally is. They didn't necessarily needed to do it in that way, but I thought
Yeah,
that
they could have done it a better way. They were kind of...
cleverly playing into how, how much sex sells. They did manage to show how clever April is.
they were going for something. They were trying to show that she's quick thinking and she could, like, think on her feet, but they did it by
already showing that, though.
making
in, like,
her a sex object, which I thought was like, she's like a 35-year-old woman. Why? Stop.
I just want to see her thumbs. What's that
She has,
about?
like, fucked up thumbs, apparently? Is it?
It's like
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah, apparently Megan Fox has fucked up thumbs.
I would just watch like 2 hours of her thumbs.
I'm going to Google this.
Anyway.
Probably one of... Megan Fox's thumb was probably one of the weirder things I've ever Googled.
Okay, well, another, not so much problem, but something I thought was hilarious was how incompetent all the Foot Clan were.
Oh my god, the funniest part was right at the end where Casey and April are going up. No, it was April and what's the other dude? The Falcon.
Oh, yeah, that's BoJack Horseman, whatever, Will Arnett, yeah.
Yeah, and he kind of just jumps on one of them. He doesn't even hit their head. He kind of jump tackles him, and he's like on the
Shoves
ground
him
out
slightly.
cold.
It's like,
You must be this big to fit in the uniform.
yeah, that was a joke we had while watching it. It's like, what the requirement to be in the Foot Clan is like, well, do you fit in the uniform? All right, you're part of the Foot Clan.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing I was thinking the whole time.
Like maybe a few of them is like, hey, can you ride a motorbike? Okay, you can do this. Hey, can you use a blowtorch? Okay, you can do this. You fit in the uniform. Just patrol the area. You know, we got this shit on lock. Krang's coming in. He's bringing in the Technodrome. Just patrol the area. You're
Oh
fine.
wow, she does have a fucked up thumb.
Oh, you're looking at them.
As I said, one of the weirder things I've ever Googled. Megan Fox thumb.
Aidan, do you think you could defend yourself of BoJack Horseman flying off the top of a shipping container?
I don't know. He's got a lot of momentum.
I feel like all you need to do is a slight step to the left.
A slight step to the-
Then he just face plants.
Yeah, if you're a ninja, you should be able to have the reflexes to dodge Will Arnett.
Probably.
Very doughy man.
He's a very doughy big widow's peak, just whoosh. I really enjoyed Bebop and Rocksteady. They were
they were one of the better things about the movie for me. They were actually well-written characters. And
every
were
time they
actually
had like a
fun.
big dumb scene, I was just like, yes, these just have an entire movie about them. Like every time they beat the turtles, I was like, yes, good, go Bebop and Rocksteady, you deserve it. And they were so happy about everything. Like they got turned into a rhino and a pig, and they're like, oh, this is all right. I'm okay with this.
What would your reaction be if you get turned into a giant warthog?
I would have an existential crisis. I'd be like, this is what am I?
However, if I was doing it with my best friend, I could probably get on board.
Yeah, I guess, if I had like
So,
my buddy
hey,
there with
you
me.
and me get turned into a giant rhino and
What
warthog.
animals would we get turned into, though?
I don't, that's a good question.
I feel like...
You're already animals.
Oh.
Come on.
What? Maybe a dog?
I don't know. I feel like I'd turn into a giant sloth.
Oh. No, I want to change my answer. I want to be a sloth. That sounds great.
You and me to turn into
I've been
giant
watching
sloths.
Voltron Defenders of Earth. I'll get into that a bit more in after a review. Are we still going to do like a... What are we...
Yeah. What have we been watching?
But yeah, there's like an episode where they go to a planet and there's just like a giant sloth people, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, I want to live there. That looks great.
I was thinking of like Pokemon like slacking. I don't know if you ever played like Ruby Sapphire.
Negro, if it ain't the first 150, I don't give a fuck. Like maybe
Go
second
fuck
generation.
yourself.
Look, maybe second generation, I'm like, yeah, your Wobbuffets and whatever, okay. But after that, I'm like, ooh, when as soon as they became like a set of keys was a Pokemon, I don't care anymore.
Okay, Voltorb was literally a Pokeball. Zubat was literally just a bat.
Yeah.
You cannot complain about the dumbness of the new Pokemon when the first original 150 were just as dumb.
Yeah, but they were the dumb
No,
when I
no,
was. They were dumb
no.
when I was dumb. So that's
I will allow people to grow up and grow out of Pokemon, but I will not allow people to say the new Pokemon are dumb and just inanimate objects. Because they've always been dumb and just inanimate objects.
set of keys though. An ice cream cone though. Anyway,
Hey,
back to Teenage Mutant Ninja
Keyflick is
Turtles.
a great ghost steel type.
All right, I'll give you that. I don't know what you're talking about. Is that the ice cream? Is that what you're talking about?
No, the key one.
Oh, the key.
Keyflick.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. It's gobbledygook. Anyway, back to the Teenage Mutant Ninja
This is why
Turtles.
you only have 50 followers.
Oh.
Why do we let her on? Jeez, kick her
shade.
out.
Because I have fun facts. Did you know that Out of the Shadows was the first live action appearance of Bebox and Rocksteady?
I did know that. Yeah.
I assumed that.
Yeah, I know they made an attempt in Out of the Ooze, or Secrets of the Ooze. There was like two things that weren't Bebop and Rocksteady, and people like real pissed, like, what are these things that aren't Bebop and Rocksteady? Because they like mutated two people or two animals into things. What were we talking about? Yeah, the bloody there was a joke that I really liked. When they're jumping out of the plane and like Raph is really scared and he says, "What would Vin Diesel do?"
Yeah, that was one of the jokes that actually landed for me. I'm like,
Yeah,
of course he would look up to Vin Diesel.
It made like, you look like him. That's, oh my god, is he Vin Diesel?
Was he?
No, I don't think he was. Like, we looked up the actor. It's not Vin Diesel, but it's like you look at him, it's like, oh my. For a second, you're like, is that Vin Diesel? I was half expecting him to say like family, like we got to do this for family. Ugh. Have you seen any of the Fast and Furious movies?
Back in the day, I saw like the first two.
Bro, dude.
What?
Look, they're real dumb, but the new ones, like I put off watching them for so long. Like I was there with you. It's like, well, I don't need to watch these. They're real dumb. But dude, bro, real fun.
I don't know. As I said, I watched the first two and I didn't not like them. I just didn't keep watching them because I just
Definitely,
never
like
got around to it, I guess.
4, 5, 6, and 7. Watch them back to back, it's the greatest dude bro experience you will ever have in your life.
Dude bro experience, is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, like 4, 5, and 6 are like actually like bleed into each other like one after the other. It's like a great trilogy of dumbness. And 7 is just by that point, like you know how in the first film they're stealing like VCRs, and it's like okay, they're kind of they're street racing, they steal VCRs. By the 7th film, they're acting like Navy SEALs. They know martial arts. There's kung fu. There's a fight with Ronda Rousey. It's amazing.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, that escalated.
It's escalates ridiculous amounts. Like there's a point where Ludacris, who is in the first film was just like some guy with like a big afro, and like by this film he's like a hacker. He knows kung fu. These films make no goddamn sense, but I love them. It's so dumb.
I'm sensing a trend in you loving absolutely dumb movies.
If something is so dumb to the point where like it's like well, I know this is dumb, have fun, then I'll jump on board with it. Like I'm not a fan of like dumb where like we're not going to explain anything and we're going to take ourselves really seriously. Like if you just lean into dumbness and you're like this is dumb, we accept this is dumb. Hooray! Then I'm like, okay, fine. You know what you are. You know what the kind of audience you're going for. I will be that kind of audience.
Okay.
That's how I approach it.
I'll give you that. That is a perfectly rational explanation of you liking this.
Yeah. So, yeah, more to this.
Back to this.
Yeah. Look, I feel like I would have liked more actual fights between the Turtles and the Foot Clan. Because I feel like that was something that was missing.
That is kind of another thing I had. Well, I think there wasn't enough fight scenes with the Turtles in general.
There wasn't a lot of martial arts on display. Like, the most martial arts we got was from Leonardo doing, like, Kumite. I think, yeah, it's like the display fight thing where he's, like, arguing with Raph. I was like...
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
But, yeah, for the most part, it was just like, oh, yeah, there was a lot of flips and tricks and stuff. But like it was like the only 2 fights they really got into was when they were like tackling Bebop and Rocksteady in the plane, and then at the end when they're fighting Krang.
Yeah, those were the 2 only real fights I got, and I wanted to see more martial artsy stuff from them. I wanted them to all be getting out and using their signature weapons, but
yeah, there wasn't enough of that. But I think that's if they were to do another one, I would want more of that. But I was okay with the tone, and it wasn't something I really noticed until the end of the film where I was like, oh, hang on. But during it, I was just like, this is so fun. Woo! We're on a plane to Brazil, and it's playing War. Okay. War. Good guy. Yeah. What is it good for? I
kind of liked how they... When it got to the end of the song there, like Bebop and Rocksteady were kind of singing it. I'm like, I like that.
Like, there were a lot of, like, kind of nostalgic early 2080s songs in it. Like, there was a lot of, like, that was a 60s song, but, like, yeah, it was just, like, the songs went all over the place. Like, oh, I remember the song. Like, I wasn't trying to do, like, here's a Justin Bieber song, or here's, like, some recent, like, 2016 trash. It was like, here's all these nostalgic songs. Just, this is it's a karaoke. It was karaoke with giant turtles.
They kind of knew that, it was going to be a nostalgia play for a lot of people. So they were kind of throwing in that music to make it more of a nostalgia play for people.
That's exactly why the film ends with, like, the 80s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme. It's just a big, dumb, fun film.
Yeah. Do we have any other thoughts we want to throw out into the abyss?
All right, Alicia, you got some thoughts there.
Back to when I said that there were references to the original comic book. Baxter first appears in the second edition with the mouses. Yeah. And the TCRI. I loved that reference, and that's in episode 3. I thought that was a really good connection to, the first origin, and then, throughout you had all the different references to, like, the ooze and the 80s and all that kind of stuff.
So yeah, there were references in there for fans. Yeah. So look, I paid attention. I really feel like this film, it plays well for fans, and like if if you're gonna watch it going in. So that's really all you can say, really. Like, I don't know what other like specific things you can bring up as like why the techno. I would have liked to see more of the Technodrome. Like we got it like it was setting up, and I was like, oh, cool, and it's got the eye, and it was just big, and I would have liked to seen it like I don't know, destroying stuff, but the film was going for a really kind of light tone, so I don't think we could have really gotten that. There wasn't. I think this is the least like for like a blue light in the sky situation. We've had a couple of those in films. Least city destruction. I think New York fared pretty well compared to like how the Avengers did.
That's kind of one thing I did think though. Like, how are all these pieces just conveniently avoiding the buildings?
Yeah, they're avoiding the buildings because they're considerate, you know.
Like, they're not really being properly guided by anything. They're just, congregating towards the freaking beacon. Because they're like, let's go towards the beacon.
We don't know exactly how they're being guided. We don't know the technology of Dimension X.
Yeah, we do, because when
it's
they
technology from another dimension.
We do know how it's working, because when they brought the beacon away, it started
we know where
the
they're heading. We don't know how they get there. We don't know what propels them.
Hang on. I thought of it like a magnet that...
yeah, that's what I was about to say. I thought of it like a magnet too.
We did see some of the pieces crashing into the building, but the thing is that the portal that was drawing them, that they were coming from, and the place where they were going were quite high up. Like, we're not talking...
That's true. Like, they weren't...
We're not talking about something coming down from the sky to try and wreak havoc. We're talking about, like, pieces coming together, which generally were out of, like, it was above the city, and there were a few tall buildings that we did see a little bit of damage and destruction, but for the most part, it made sense.
I guess if you look at it like that, like it wasn't trying to go towards the ground. It was happening all in the sky. So only like
still, there was some of them that were kind of like, they were in amongst the buildings, but still kind of conveniently avoiding them. I saw a bit of that. So that's what I was like, that doesn't seem realistic, but okay.
I guess they were going for the path of least resistance. So,
I shouldn't be arguing in realism in movies like this anyway.
It wasn't like we saw zero destruction. Like, buildings were getting, like, smashed.
There were a few, like, corners of buildings that got smashed up a bit. And
that's all we need in a PG movie.
Yeah, just a few corners of buildings. I don't even think anyone died in this film. Maybe, like, a couple of foot soldiers.
They should have, for the way their spines got smashed up.
Actually, a couple of those foot soldiers definitely died because they had, like, those, the grates shot at them. That liquefied instantly inside. I honestly, you know what I would have liked? You know how in the cartoon they're robots? Do that. Just, why not? Like, at this stage, if you've got giant green turtles running around, why not have robots? That's what they can do in the sequel, to have, like, more, like, ninja fights and stuff. And we can get, like, heads and limbs and stuff being chopped off. It's okay because they're robots. I mean, if the Avengers can do that, why not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Good point. I agree. Let's do robots. I like robots.
Get robots in there. And we could have mouses.
Ooh,
Get some mouses in there, bruh.
I think you mean mice. Mice is the plural of mouse.
No, that's what the robot things were called. They're like, they're little chompy things.
To rid the world of rid the city of the mouse problem. However, he was using it to break into banks.
As you do.
Okay, as you do. Okay.
It's completely logical in a world where there's a race of aliens who are triceratops.
See, I just gotta try and throw logic out the window.
That was episode. Oh, what do you call it for comic books? Issue. It was issue 2, along with Baxter.
You know your shit with the Ninja Turtles.
That's why I brought her in on this podcast. She knows her shit. She's a Turtles fan.
There you go.
I
vaguely remember watching the cartoon.
Fucking surprised you both are. Fuck you.
Look, to be fair, I don't know you that well. Yeah,
Brett doesn't know you that well. Also, we're so used to not knowing anything. Like, Brett doesn't know anything. I sometimes know some things because I'll like bulk Wikipedia, or I like, we're going to be watching Daredevil season 1. I'm going to read every Daredevil comic ever. Okay.
We're both pretty dumb. So when we just see someone smarter than us, especially on the podcast, it's very juxtaposing.
I'm eating potato gems because late night snacks.
Yes. We forgot to mention this is another PCMR podcast update.
PCMR podcast update. All right, so I think that's all we can say about the film. We're going to talk about some recommendations, what we've been listening to, what we're going to listen to, all that kind of shit.
Oh, hang on. Sorry.
Oh, one more thing.
This is really cool. So there was a scene that I am so sad about. It was cut. We don't get a look at it yet, but I feel like when the movie is released on DVD, we'll get it. Between Megan Fox's April O'Neil, she actually meets the woman who first played April O'Neil in the 1990 live action version, Judith Hogue, I believe. And I thought that was really fucking cool. And I'm really pissed they didn't keep it. Because that's like a big old nerd thing that I want to see that. And they were like, oh, no, we have to play for the kids. And I'm like, okay, but I'll watch this about 5 times. Give me what I want.
So there you go.
It would have worked because, as I said before, there were a lot of people going to this out of like nostalgia.
Oh, this film definitely played to nostalgia. This film was all nostalgia.
There's too many great representations and versions of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to, you know, completely ignore all of them and just go in your own direction. Like, we're at the point now where everything's too good to ignore. You know, we have to pay it justice while creating our new stuff. Like there was good plot points in there that we hadn't seen before. And I did like the origin story in the first one where April O'Neil owned the turtles and she named them, and I really liked that. But, you know, you have to keep bringing it back to a place where we're all going to go, oh my God, that was, you know, that was from the first comic, or that was from the 80s version. Like, it's very intimidating.
Like you got to have the mic up in your face. It's like, otherwise people can't hear you.
Well, I'm not used to having big things up in my face.
You got.
She roasts you even better than I do.
You always got to bring it back to hurt. You got to bring it back to throwing shade. All right. Let's get into some recommendations. That's all right. So we've talked about it. By now, you know if you want to see TMNT or not. You know.
Tell us if you were a Team Aidan or Team Brett, as to if you want to see the movie or not.
All right, recommendations. Brett, what have you been listening to, watching? What are you up to?
Well, I can tell you what we've both been listening to, most likely.
Yeah, that new Let Live album.
Yes, If I'm the Devil, ...
Like, so we were going to listen to it last week, and we've listened to it now. I really like it. Like, it's not quite what I expected. I expected a few more songs, like Good Morning America.
I feel like the track release before it was a bit misleading because they released 2 of the, like, you know, more energetic tracks before it, when there's, you know, basically like 4 really energetic tracks on the whole album.
Yeah, there's a lot more of kind of like somber, reflective songs. And I don't mind that. Like, I feel like the more I listen to it, I'll probably like it more, but I don't think it'll quite be my favorite as much as The Black is Beautiful was.
See, I'm at the point right now where this is probably my favorite release of the year, but I still think I like The Black is Beautiful better.
Oh yeah, I think I definitely like The Black is Beautiful better.
That's not to say that I haven't actually been loving this album.
No, I've been quite enjoying it. I want to listen to it a bit more, but
see, I feel like the fast, energetic songs, like, you know, Good Morning, freaking
Week
Another
Ago.
Offensive Song, A Week Ago, Elephant, those really fast, energetic songs, they're really easy to digest and to just get right into from the get-go.
But something like If I'm the Devil is like...
Or what's that last one? Copper-Colored...
yeah, Copper-Colored Quiet.
Yeah, that one. I feel like it needs a few more listens to digest, but once you do digest it, you really explodes at you.
Like, yeah, I feel like that's a sign of a good album. Like, it's not quite the same feel I got, but kind of similar to how I felt listening to Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar. Well, that's an album where you have to listen to it all the way through to appreciate every single song.
Definitely, because it has that rise and fall. It has that good flow to the album. They've really written it well, and they've arranged the songs in a order that you just... You flow with the album. It takes you on the journey.
It definitely has a lot of ebb and flow to it. Yeah, I'd definitely recommend it. Like, it's probably my second favorite of theirs. Like, Black is Beautiful, this one, and then their other stuff would come underneath that.
Fake History is pretty great too, though.
Fake History is all right. I think I like this more than Fake History, just because
Yeah.
Good Morning America is such a good track, and it's...
Yeah.
I wish there were more songs like that on the album, but it's still a good album. Yeah.
I really like the lyrical undertone of the whole album. The whole Rage Against the Machine type lyrics to it. Where they're really going for to talk about the political side of things. Like they're really talking about the police brutality against African Americans. So that's obviously something that's really close to their hearts, and you can tell it in the music, and it really gets you riled up for the cause as well.
No, I really enjoyed it. What else have I
Enough
been...
about that.
Yeah, what else have I been enjoying? I watched all of... I was talking about earlier. Voltron Legendary Defenders. I watched all of it. The new Netflix series. It's real good. Like, it's from the two of the people who worked on Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. And it's kind of... I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like that kind of a vibe. But Voltron. So this is probably the best Voltron property thing there is out there, because if you went back and watched the old 80s cartoon, it'd be trash. It'd be unwatchable. But this is like, oh man, this is real good. Like, and it ends on a cliffhanger, so I'm really hoping that we get some new episodes. Shit, even like this year, I'm hoping like a season later in like October would be good, because there's like an hour. The first episode is like an hour long, and then there's like 10 or 11 other episodes, and then it kind of ends on this like big kind of cliffhanger, and you're just like, oh fuck, what? Where's the next one? Like me and my brother were watching it like back to back, just sitting on the couch, and like the last one ended, and we'd been kind of talking a bit like about the show, and so we missed like the last 15 minutes, and it ended. We were just like, wait, what? That's the end of the show. What the fuck just happened? So we went back like 15 minutes. It's like, oh shit, I want more of this. And
nice.
It really feels like if you've like been missing like Avatar: The Last Airbender, that kind of like art style, I didn't realize how much I've been like missing stuff like that. It's real good.
Netflix did recommend me it.
It's got like a good voice cast as well. Like one of the main guys is the guy who voices Finn from Adventure Time. It's also got Steven.
Did you know the guy who voices Finn in Adventure Time is in a pop punk band?
I wouldn't surprise me at all. The dude's like good looking and young. Of course he'd be in a pop punk band.
Yeah.
He's also Stephen Ewan.
Jeremy Shader.
Yeah, Jeremy Shader. That's who played. Stephen Ewan, the guy from who's the Asian one from The Walking Dead? What's his name?
Oh yeah, Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn.
I knew the name. I'm sitting there thinking Stephen Ewan. I know the name.
Apparently, Make Out Monday is the
Make Out Monday. Yeah. You know,
It's
I listened to one of their
2019,
songs and it wasn't terrible.
Oh yeah. Who else is? It's got Rhys Darby, bloody Rhys Darby, known from Flight of the Conchords, New Zealand national treasure, international treasure. Rhys Darby is in the show as well, and he's great. So I'd highly recommend it. What else have you been watching?
I've still been watching the Alien show I told you about, Falling Skies.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
5 seasons of it, and I've just been trying to pump through it. I'm in the middle of season 4 right now, so see, I don't binge watch shows as fast as you do because I have a fucking job.
That's fair.
Yeah, so I've been watching that. It got a lot better after season 1. It's one of those shows where season 1 I was kind of just it's good enough. I'm gonna keep going with it. Maybe it'll pick up more, and it has, and like especially in this season 4, it's really kind of reinvented itself from the previous season. So if you like a good show about aliens, hit it up.
Oh, also I've been watching Playground Politics. It's this series on iView that Sammy J is doing. It's produced by Stupid Old Studios. There's some good guys out of Melbourne, a bunch of good like comedians. They have their own like studio. They do some good stuff. Andy Matthews and Beck Petratus and Matt Stewart.
Speaking of comedians, I actually watched Bo Burnham's new special the other day.
Yeah, I watched that. I think the day it came out. It's real good.
Yeah, it's really good. Like I liked What, which was his first one, but it's one of those ones where it was good, but it kind of like fell into the back of my memory, so it wasn't as memorable. But I feel like this one was a lot better.
Yeah, like that ending with like the Kanye bit he does is.
Yeah, that was huge. I think the most hilarious part for me, like this is one of the parts that's so hilarious, I literally had to pause it because I was laughing. It's like, hey, Bo, guess what? What? You're a faggot.
He does a lot of like great dumb jokes like that. I think I really like when comedians do like real big dumb jokes. I think we were talking about this earlier with you. We're like, when me and Alicia we saw Auntie Donna live, they have this joke where Mr. Whoopi, where he just like they bring people up on stage to just like sit on a whoopee cushion and are like, how could I be so silly when you're a farty bum bum? And it's like, that's such a dumb fucking joke, but it's so great, and I love it.
See, and I think I was saying like I really delved into like the thought process of how those jokes work because you're at a comedy show, you're seeing these professional comedians, and it's just so you're expecting these really smart, well-written jokes, and it's just so juxtaposing to see something to like a fucking whoopee cushion or a song calling you a faggot. So, and that's what makes them jokes funny, I think.
Yeah. And I feel like in these dark times, I mean, bloody mass shootings and whatnot, you need good fun. You need to enjoy fun. You need to enjoy laughter. You need to enjoy love and all that good stuff. And I think
there is so much shit in the world that we just need to have fun. That's what this podcast is about.
Yeah,
it's about the stuff we love. We love these movies. We love these TV shows. We love these games. So we want to talk about them and we want to experience them to forget about all this shit that's going on in the world.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want to talk and discuss about all this fun and love and dumb shit that we talk about, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/PCMR podcast. We're also on Twitter at PCMR podcast. We also have our own personal Twitter accounts. I'm at Aidan's Vlog, AIDANSVLOG.
I am at MeMan125, spelled how it sounds. Chuck us an email while you're at it. It can be a business inquiry if you want to do business with us, or it can just be any thoughts and feelings you want to give to us.
Mail.
Or hate mail.
Oh,
Honestly,
hate
we
mail,
take hate mail.
Yes, please.
Any
give us
kind of
hate
mail, really. Hate, love, confusion mail. Send us some of that.
Drug mail.
Honestly, I feel
don't
like the
send us
first
drug
time when we get hate mail, I'll feel
Confusion
like
mail's
we've
my
made
favorite.
it. Nah, hate mail's my favorite because I'll know I've made it.
Yes. Oh, just someone to be so angry that we're like just doing some dumb shit on the internet and they're like, oh, I hate you. How dare you have this opinion? It's like, oh, why do you care?
Yes. I want people to care enough to hate mail us.
That's how you know you've made it, honestly.
Yes.
Right there.
So email us at pcmrpodcast@gmail.com.
You're probably wondering, where can I listen to this so I can hate it? Well,
you're probably not because
you
you're
are
probably
listening to it.
already
But
listened to it.
where can you recommend this with people? Well, on iTunes. Go to iTunes, subscribe, give us that 5 stars. It really helps. Give us a review. In the review, you can tell us your real opinions. Just give us the 5 stars to be a pal. But in the review, you can be like, you guys suck dicks. I hate you. That's fine. And like, that doesn't matter. Just give us that 5 stars. That's all I'm asking for. Also, you can find us on YouTube. We're on YouTube, PCMR, youtube.com/PCMR podcast, or just look up PCMR podcast, Brett or Aidan or something like that, and you'll find us.
Yeah, just Google. Google's got
Google
everything
us,
you need.
Or you know what the easiest way to find us is? PCMRpodcast.net. That's our website. It's got all our social media links. It's got all of our audio. Quickest and easiest way to find us. Simple.
Yeah, hit the. That's it. Alicia, got any plugs?
You got any plugs, Alicia? You have to say your plugs. This is an audio format. You must talk.
You're in charge of my plugs.
Okay, Alicia has an Instagram you can go and follow.
It was supposed to be really dirty, by the way. I'm kind of pissed you just skimmed over like that.
This is a professional bit. We're talking about plugs, all right? We have no time for butts. Alicia can be found on Instagram at Alicia Jane, ALeishaJaynee.
I followed her yet. Let me see.
You can find that there. We'll put it in the show notes.
I'm pretty
Will
cute.
I? Okay, I will.
Yes, you will. You can put that in the show
I've been
notes.
informed of this.
Alrighty, until next time, when we will be probably talking about E3 because that's going on right now, and there is
Trailers upon trailers upon trailers.
I still have to go
The
in.
dog, I heard you like trailers. So some
Trailers.
So you watch trailers while you watch trailers.
Like Norman Reedus is doing something with Kojima, and I don't understand what's going on, but it looks pretty. There's a Spider-Man, there's Dishonored, there's all kinds of things. VR, so much VR. We'll be talking about that next week. Until then, just relax, sit back, have a good time.
Try and ignore all the bad in the world that's happening.
Hold your loved ones close.
Yes, definitely do
Then
that.
sacrifice them to the devil.
Calm the fuck down, mate.
My Dark Lord Satan commands it.
All right, eat some potato gems. That's my recommendation. Until then, farewell. Have a good time. Be good.
Bye. I think I should become a regular.
Alrighty.
I'm great fun.
Just throwing so much shade. I feel so...